Okay, I've got 6 o'clock, so we'll go ahead and call this November meeting of the Blount County Board of Zoning Appeals to order. Roger, if you'll call the roll, please.
Andy Allen.
Here.
Larry Chesney.
Here.
Bruce Damrow.
Here.
Stan Hedrick. Rob Walker.
Here. We've got 2 months of minutes. Is there a motion to approve both those months? Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye. No appeals and no special exception and 2 variances tonight. First variance is a request for setback, 4258 Old Wallen Highway.
The applicant is applying for a variance from the front setback requirements at 4258 Old Wallen Highway. This property is identified on tax map 49, parcel 3102, and is zoned R1. The required setback is 30 feet from the front property line, and the request is for a 4 feet variance, which would leave a 26 feet front setback. The property is a 6-acre tract of land that lies between Old Wallen Highway and Little River. It is big enough for the second dwelling, according to our zoning regulations, and has a septic system permit. The hardship of the lot is the shape of the lot and its proximity to the river. On one end of the lot, there is a buildable area that tapers down quickly to a long, narrow stretch for the remainder of the property. This area is the only realistic place for a home site, which has a flat area toward the front that goes back and then slopes steeply to the river. The requested 4 feet will allow more room for the home to be placed away from the steep section leading out to the river. The building site is in the same general area as an existing cabin, and I'd like to add that this is going to be also a 1-bedroom cabin is what they're requesting.
Is anyone here in favor of this special exception that'd like to speak? Is this your all's special exception? Okay, is there anything that you'd like to add to what Roger just told us?
No, we're just gonna probably use it, occasionally, weekend or something.
Okay. Open up discussion from the board.
When we're finished, there's gonna be 1 house there or 2.
There'll be 2. The existing cabin's staying.
Okay, if you look where the house is there now, and then there's a little structure right on the road, is it staying?
That's my brother's. That's my brother's, he puts his lawnmower in.
So that's not on your property?
Yes, it's on our property, but my brother had that put there for his lawnmower.
Okay, is that maybe code?
I believe that was put there before regulations, so I mean, what's there is there. It's grandfathered.
It was ground,
Yeah.
even though it's like 5 feet off the road.
Yeah. But they don't have to remove any of that for this. It's unrelated, I guess.
Okay,
is
so
what I'm-
there's a house and that little shed that's on the road. This is going in between those 2?
It'll be going, if you're standing in the street looking at the cabin, it'll be to the right of the existing. Yes.
Not the, okay.
Yeah.
And all both of those structures that are there now are gonna stay?
Yes, I suppose so.
Ma'am, for the record, can you tell us your name, please?
My name is Carmen Cook,
All right.
C-A-R-M-O-N.
All right. If there's no other discussion from the board,
Well, is this 4 foot, where's the property line? Is it from the center of the road or from the fence, the side of the road?
I'm not sure about the fence, but it's not the center of the road. We looked that up, and I think was that a 24 foot? I forget what the right of way is right there, but it's not a 50 foot right of way.
Roger, it's 42 feet from just beyond the center line on the road to where the cabin is right now. 42
Yeah.
feet.
But it's not the center line of the road. I forget what the exact right of way is. It was 25 or 20 something. It was smaller than 50 feet. So it would probably take in the ditch line in that general area.
So this new building is gonna be closer or further away from the road than the existing house?
How much room are we gonna have from the edge of the street to the house?
Now, how much, what,
Right from the, edge of the property to the building.
Now, the edge of the street, like the asphalt to your new building.
I didn't measure that part.
it's probably at least 30 feet.
No, not
Well, it's 42 feet from the center line of the road from the farthest yellow line. It's 42 feet for the house. And I'm not sure from the property line to the house. That's something we can.
With a 4-foot variance, it'd be 26 feet from the property line, and I would say, that property line's less than 6 feet from the edge of the pavement, just my guess.
You're still 30 feet off the road.
Real close, yeah.
And the reason we need it so close is because of the river.
the configuration of
Yeah,
the lot.
way the lot runs toward the river.
Right.
And it's in the flood zone, no matter where they go there, but it would help them as far as construction.
How's the little lawnmower shed going, it's gonna be right in front of you?
No, it's on the completely other side.
It's on the other.
It's on the Wallen side.
So you're on the lower side
It
of
will
the
be on
covered
the
bridge?
Maryville side.
Yeah.
Roger, does this have to be the current requirements for the first level be so many feet above the flood level?
Oh, yes.
So the heavens will probably be on piers.
Yes, I think they're going to use piers for theirs.
Surveyor come and peg the property and then we go a foot above that.
Yes. They have to have a foot of freeboard above the high water mark, which the surveyors set their pin for reference, their benchmark. And they have to be a foot above that with the first living floor. And they're not going to build theirs on piers.
Any other discussion? Chair will entertain a motion.
Andy Allen,
Yes.
Larry Chesney, Bruce Damrow,
Yes.
Stan Hedrick, Rob Walker.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank you. Next item on tonight's agenda is a variance from the front setback requirements on 201 Barberry Court.
I hope you guys got the email. They gave me a site layout for this.
Yeah, that was a weird sized piece of paper. There it is, right there.
Legal side.
That is, it's illegal in part. Well, mine printed out on that.
We forced it.
Anyway, the applicant is applying for variance from the front building setback requirements at 201 Barberry Court. This property is identified on tax map 48M, Group B, parcel 28. The property is zoned S for suburbanizing, and the required front setback is 30 feet. The applicant is requesting 6.4 feet. My numbers are wrong with the paperwork we got today. They're actually requesting an 8.41 variance, which will leave them with the 21.59 feet setbacks.
You guys through with that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
When the house was being laid out on the lot, the applicant pulled his measurements from the corner pins. This did not take account for the radius of the cul-de-sac, and that radius is the amount of relief being requested. This is a small lot at 0.23 acres, and it is a pie-shaped lot in a cul-de-sac, which does reduce the building envelope. And you can see that the depth of the building envelope's not that deep. The applicant discovered this miscalculation when the footers had been dug and has stopped work on the house. I should have, well, I did get the survey and forwarded it on to you. And he's here to answer any questions for you.
I presume you must be in favor of this variance. Is there anything you'd like to add to what Roger was just telling us?
I'd just say that when we found our
corner pins.
If you, for the record, if you could tell us your name, please, and stand in front of the mic, we can hear you a little better.
Gary Roberts, I'm the president of Concord Properties, who's building the house. When we pulled our 30 feet back on the two front pins, we went just a little more, a foot or two more, come straight across and started digging footers. When we dug the footers, it's a pretty flat lot. Looked like it's going to be pretty hard dirt, but 8 feet later, we get to solid ground. Used a lot of flowable fill and footers on top of that. So the reason I called the surveying company, Sterling Engineer, my footers were still pushing 3 feet in the ground, and it's hard for us to lay that out with blocks. So I called them to pin it for me, and that's when I discovered that we had made the mistake. It wasn't. That's how the discovery was made. It was after I'd done the initial work. Typically in that subdivision, and quite frankly, a lot than most that we do, which we're learning a good lesson here. But we pull our setbacks and our pins and lay our houses out ourselves. But been successful many times doing it that way. This time it turned out it didn't work, so I stopped and wanted to go through this process to just have a peace of mind about it.
Is this your personal home, or is it a
No,
spec
it's
home?
a spec home.
Okay.
It's one that we have sold, matter of fact.
Any questions from the board?
Is this a garage that's real close?
That's the garage, yes, sir. It's the, probably if you're looking at the house, it's the left-hand corner of the garage that comes out. I think it's about 6 feet. The garage sticks out, and I think it catches part of the front porch, is what Chris Rosser told me.
On the back of the house, there's some shrubs. Are those shrubs, where are those shrubs on this plot?
Can I come a little closer to see that?
Right back here, there's a little shrubs, there's a house right here. Yes. Is this 20 feet off of those shrubs? Are those your shrubs? No, they're not my shrubs. So they must. That must belong to that existing home that was there at one time. So is this a utility easement? No, that's just the 20-foot rear setback. Okay. So it doesn't matter whether, if you keep that house there, it doesn't matter whether you ask you to move it back or forward, you gotta give it a variance, because if you go back further than that. Yeah, I think we're within 1 foot forward right there, that mark. I think is what Chris told me, 1 foot forward. So that, either way, you got to have a variance, if he puts that house on that lot.
Yes, from the front or the back. And it's, I think it's 1,500 square foot house. So,
Yeah, just
I mean,
in the
it's-
mid-15s.
That, if you look at that building envelope compared to the rest of the lots around there, it is narrower.
Yeah, what
Simply
we've been
because
building
of-
is 1,630 square feet, heated space, not counting the garage. This is probably this will be our 9th home in this subdivision. It's probably it is the smallest one we've built.
Did you build the one on the right of the house?
No,
You want the setback is on it?
no, sir, I don't. It's kind of the long rancher looking one there.
Yeah, but it looks like this corner may be closer.
It looks closer than this home was going to be. I know from the back of the curb, this garage, from the back of and I know the property line sits behind the curb, but from the curb, existing curb, to this most furthest encroachment on the easement, the garage corner, is still 32 feet here.
So you're 32 feet?
From the back of the
garage
curb.
door to the back of the curb?
Yes, sir.
Say that again.
From the back of the curb, the existing curb there now, to that the furthest encroachment that you see on your, is still 32 feet to the back of the curb.
So this setback is located
It's 5 to 6 feet.
behind the curb.
Mm-hmm.
It'd have to be, like 10 feet.
It's a pretty good, it's behind the transformers and,
So it's outside your utilities, man.
yes, sir.
All right.
Any other discussion from the board?
Roger, the house to the right, is it closer to 30 feet?
I didn't really pay much attention to it when I was out there, and our inspectors didn't pick up anything when they were doing the inspections on it. I'd have, I'd have to go back out there and look at it. I didn't pay any attention to it.
Empty lot right here, and there's a house. It's over on, if you look, you're facing this house over here, but it looks like the corner of that house.
Lot 12?
I think that's correct.
Maybe, I thought there was an empty place. Maybe
Lot
it's-
12 is empty. I'm on 11.
Ah,
Lot 12, that's got to be probably 13, I guess.
Yeah, because there's an empty lot between you and that.
Correct.
house. Looks like,
Correct.
it just looks like this is not gonna be any closer.
And then this one, the one that says up here.
I would say that this is the first time I've ever had to come before a zoning appeals board as well.
I think there's an empty lot there.
Have we ever had any other variances in this subdivision? Do you know?
It's closer.
I can't recall right offhand. We may have. I'd have to just go back and look. I was just paying attention to the application that was made.
Is it brand new subdivision?
Not brand new, but it's just now starting to really take off and start.
I'm sorry,
He was just asking the age of the subdivision. It's probably
I think we built the first.
2009?
house in there 3 years ago. There's probably, we've done 9, and there's 2 others, 11, one more, 12. We're getting ready to start 3 others. It's been a good little find.
So the bottom line is the surveyor didn't lay this out until after the fact.
Correct, but we done
That's the
it.
issue.
Well, that's my, I don't know if it's an issue, it's my fault, I guess. I found it when I asked the surveyor to pin, and that's when I stopped work and wanted to correct the situation.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, Chair will entertain a motion.
I move we accept it.
Second.
Andy Allen,
Yes.
Larry Chesney, Bruce Damrow,
Yes.
Stan Hedrick, Rob Walker.
Yes. Motion approved.
Don't ever come back like this.
I won't. I'll come before the fact. And that's a question I would have because
You only get one,
Measure twice and cut once.
that's right.
you only get one challenge.
If we have a difficult lot that we've picked a house for that's not fitting, is that what we should do come, obviously prior to this, and talk about what we're wanting to build and what the difficulties are? Is that a process that's done? I mean.
Yeah, before is generally when it's done, before construction starts.
Well, we bought a few lots ahead, and,
But you should have come in, you should have had this survey and had this laid out before you ever.
exactly,
Haven't done your ditch.
exactly. And you're right,
And at that time, you really have more options around designing the house. Should we move it back 5 feet, leave 5 feet on the front, 15 on the back? You kind of work with what our options are. It actually looks like the back of the house is pretty close to somebody that's set out in the truck.
on the upper side up there,
On the back,
yeah,
there's a house right behind this house.
yeah, there's some shrubs that property owner has put up in the corner there, the left hand. They may be a little bit. Thank you very much.
You could go much
Thank you.
further.